Yes, right there.
Here I am again, the Mullen Parole. I'm trying to think of something to talk about. Something that will make you notice. How about race relations? I have to tell you, communication is tough out there. We've talked about the Zimmerman verdict, we've talked about the OJ verdict. People get really mad. Culturally, I think that there's a divide, and it's a mystery to me. My wife and I went to the Paul McCartney concert on Friday night, and I didn't want to go. I am not a concert person. I love Paul McCartney, love the Beatles, just the best. But I don't like going places with this loud music and crowds. But my wife got me to go. And, it went really well. I mean, I felt like it was like when we were being hurtled through the gates in large, huge crowds to get into the concert. I was annoyed. I felt like I was going through Auschwitz or something. It was like this horrible, thing. But once I got inside and Paul started playing, and I was just, I was up there and I was singing, off key, band on the run, because I loved it. I was just the best. I love his music, whatever. But along the way, in between sets, Paul McCartney was telling me and 40,000 drunken senior citizens, they're so well-behaved senior citizens, they don't jump up and scream at concerts. If I go on to like a Hannah Montana concert, I wouldn't have seen anything, or Little Bow Wow would have been screaming and yelling. But it was very nice. We're all sitting there, and Paul McCartney starts talking about John Lennon. This is John's inspired me in so many ways, and we're all leaning towards Paul, like trying to get Paul. Paul is going on about John. We all cried when John died, even those of us who weren't born yet cried. Anyway, in the middle of this little beer seller comes down. He's got a box full of beers, and he's African American, and he comes down, and he's like, beer, y'all, get your beer, get your soda, hey, I'm talking to you, hey, we're all like, politely leaning forward, trying to get these gems from Paul McCartney's lips. What is he going to say about John Lennon? Did they wear the same shirt? Did they both boink Yoko? What? And the guy's like, come on, y'all, listen to me. And it was like this communication thing. And you could say the same thing about like white rednecks. But I think that there's something voluminous in the way that many African Americans speak. They speak loudly, and they have messages, and they want you to hear what they have to say. And in a way, it's successful for them. I grew up in D.C. foster care system, and I remember my friends who I went to high school with, the nerdy little Jewish guys, they would ask girls out, well, you want to go to a get-together, you want to go to a concert, whatever, and then they say, she just wants to be my friend. She says she just wants me. I'm like a brother to her. It didn't succeed well. But I had a roommate when I was in the D.C. foster care system in a group home, a boys' home, and he was amazing. He was 15. He had 2 kids, also in the D.C. foster care system, and a woman would walk by. He had such confidence. He's like, yo, hey, I like your ass. Hey, I'm talking to you, bitch. Look at me. Hey, I'll run a train on you. And do you know, I watched him, and if he did this 10 times, 8 of the times, girls would turn, some just to curse his name, and some loved it. They'd come over and talk to him. He'd get their digits. He'd call them. He'd sleep with them once, and then go do this to somebody else. And so I can't argue with the largesse of loud African Americans, but I wonder sometimes, when they talk about Obama, they always said that Clinton was the first black president, and sometimes I wonder if Obama is the first white black president, because he's so well-mannered. When he makes a gaffe, like the one he made about the Special Olympics, he always apologizes, and he plays golf, and he's always like, well, we're just gotta listen to you folk, and this sort of thing, and you just know that he's really not been around a lot of like regular blue collar black people or white rednecks, and he's just so well mannered. It's like watching the Robert Young show, from years ago. And that's the thing. I think that part of the problem is that I've heard white people say, why can't black people act more like white people? And then I've heard black people say that white people are too stuck up and too neurotic. And that's probably true. I mean, the one thing about the black women I've met is they'll tell you what's on their mind. They'll tell you what they want and when they want it and whether they're going to like you. And if they're not going to like you, they'll let you know at the top of their lungs. And I'm sure I'll get a lot of people saying I'm generalizing. I'm just telling you what my experience has been. I go back to George Zimmerman, which I discussed in my previous video. He's out there. He's probably offensively told Trayvon Martin to come and, hey buddy, what are you doing out here? And I'm sure Trayvon was like, what you mean while I'm out here? I'm out here because I want to be out here. And Zimmerman, of course, was thinking, wait a minute, this is a closed community. What's this guy doing here? And I've heard all this stuff from Zimmerman's friends. George isn't a racist. George loves black people. George watches The Cosby Show. And I believe it, I still think that George Zimmerman had a hard-on to use that fucking gun, You get a gun, you want to use it. I walk into Ranger Surplus now and then, which is like Sunny Surplus. These surplus stores are great. They've got all these knives. They've got guns, they've got camouflage. Can you imagine how frustrating it must be to be some idiot who's into guns, and you buy the guns, and you never get to shoot anybody? You don't want to shoot a tin can. You want to take the sinners off of Jesus, is what you want to do. And you're not allowed to do that. You can't use your gun. And, it's interesting because I've met a lot of very unstable people who could not make it in the Army, who love guns. The guns. The Second Amendment. And it's really a scary thing. We get back into this race relations thing, and I gotta say this. The African Americans I've met that use guns generally use them to raise revenue in the drug business or whatever. White people confuse white boys with guns always fuck up. They always fuck up. They're either gunning down children at a school, or they're shooting their ex-wife, or they're, hunting down some poor kid who went out to get Skittles in a gated community. Confused white boys should not have guns. I don't know. Or maybe we should all have guns, the way they do in, is it Switzerland, where everybody carries a gun? I don't know. I have no desire for a gun. I have very poor eyesight, and I am not interested in guns. However, if everybody else is going to get a gun, I may get one too. The thing is, but you don't meet crazy, as I said, you don't meet crazy black people. Colin Ferguson, who shot down all these people in 1993 in the Long Island Railroad, he was the last crazy black person with a gun. But hey, Colin Ferguson was from Jamaica. He wasn't an African American. A few years before that, there was a young man, his name was Willie Bosket. Willie Bosket was 15, and I don't know what was going on with him, and he killed a couple people in the subway. And that was the start of a law in New York called the Willie Bosket Law. And on the Willie Bosket Law, you could sentence 15-year-olds as adults, whereas you can't really do that before that. And Willie Bosket, at the time, was sent to a juvenile facility, but then he kept fucking up, so he ended up getting a whole bunch of time. But the point I'm trying to make is, about race relations, is we are a little different. And the problem is making the other people toe the line is going to be hard. Because, white America, we're minors now. We have Hispanic citizens and African American citizens and Haitian citizens. And so there aren't going to be any more, Mortimer Snurds walking around trying to get people to behave themselves. So, you know, maybe we need to learn to adjust. I still do wish the beer seller had let me hear what John Lennon had to say to Paul McCartney had to say about John Lennon. Anyway, thanks a lot. Hope you liked my video. I'm not very good at this, but by George, I'm going to keep doing it. One thing we white people like to do is run our mouths. Thanks.